What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Marisha LaShay, and welcome to another episode of the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay. Man, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, and welcome back to season 5. Continues on the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay. I am still celebrating. Okay, it is good to be back before you all under the sound of my voice. Giving honor to God who is the head of my life. I have the opportunity to have completed 4 seasons before I have arrived here at season 5. And I don't take this opportunity for granted or lightly. I appreciate God for being with me and just the inspiration from different places and people. I am internally grateful, and I will always keep expressing my gratitude because it keeps me grounded. So, of course, I got to go ahead and be thankful. I thank God for waking me up this morning. Thank God for starting me on my way. Thank God for my family, my friends, just everything right now. Just everything. Everybody who have been tuning in to listen, the growth in my podcast, my brand. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you for the opportunities that are waiting for me that I don't even know about. Thank you, because I'm ready to intercede on behalf of my life. I'm just ready for my life to shift in a way that, man, that I'm ready for. So I'm definitely just speaking, wisdom over myself and as I'm going forward for the next changes that's getting ready to occur in my life. I'm grateful. Meanwhile, allow me to go ahead and continue with the history of the breakfast show and how I actually got started. It originally began back in November of 2020 during the pandemic. My dad and I were working on projects and having morning meetings. So one day in the morning meeting, my dad and I created the breakfast show, Marisha LaShay, because we were asking each other thought-provoking questions, and I ran with the idea of reaching a bigger audience with some of these thoughts and questions and actually being able to create a safe space for others to engage my content. So after that, we decided that I will only go live in the months that have 30 days, like this month, which is April, June, September, and November. So for the next 28 days, I will continue this marathon of using my gift of gab to inspire, motivate, and encourage others to reach for the stars based on real world topics. So come on in, relax, sip on your coffee, and let's get into it. So the next part of the show is going to be where you check in on your mental, right? You're doing a mental check in, rating your feelings on a scale 1 to 10, 1 being the worst day of your life and 10 being the best day of your life. Can I be below a 1 and can I be above a 10? Absolutely. You definitely can be above and below either one of them, depending on how you're feeling. Nobody can ever tell you how to feel. Today, I'm on 1,000 because I woke up next to some handsome man. And yeah, I'm good. God allowed me to be able to wake up to see another day. So, with that being said, the question for today is I'm going to pause before I start with my question of the day because what I realized is I didn't tell you guys my number of what I feel on the scale. I'm on 1,000. I probably said that, but I just want to go back and reiterate it and make sure I'm following direction. So, yeah, I'm on 1,000. So, definitely on 1,000. And I'm moving on to the question here for today. So, take the time to drop your numbers. Feel free to drop them. You can explain why if you feel led to express why. So the question of the day is, am I wrong for creating the life I want? P.S. Of course, once I get the green light from God to make sure everything checks out. So last night I was having a conversation with my mother regarding my current employment and the responsibilities and the different events that have occurred. And I was just telling her that because it is a very tall commitment of balancing both being a single parent and an educator, it results in me being depleted at the end of the day, and my son gets nothing from me. And I think with me saying nothing, that's a bit extreme. So I said, let me choose another word choice and say that he's getting the used up. Like, I don't have no energy at 5 and 6 in the evening to go over anything. My temper is short. My patience are cut thin for my own child because I've been working with kids all these hours all day long. My day starts at 7:15 in the morning. From the time that I walk in through the door, I'm working on something, whether it's going to run copies, man, I have a homeroom. I'm teaching 4 classes. I also have math test prep as well. That's 4 sessions of that. I got the 6th grade test prep, stuff that I'm doing. I also tutor. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, what do I have left for Kaden? I mean, I don't make no excuse because I still go and do what I have to do with him, but it's at the same time that I'm just really, really exhausted because there's no downtime. Everything just go boop, boop, boop. And I just recently started getting like a prep period, but those prep periods have been used for other things, such as having to cover for other teachers, classes and things like that, which I have no problem with being a team player, but it's cutting into what has to be done as it relates to my own content area. And just, man, that lack of energy is real because you're constantly going from this class to this class to this class to this class. If you're going on lunch, your lunch gonna go like this because you're gonna warm your food up. You might have to wait for the microwave. You might have to use the bathroom. You might have to drop off testing materials because we just got done with state testing. I mean, there's always something. So sometimes you have to stop. I have to stop and think to myself, what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to say? Like, okay, feeling overwhelmed. Like I get on the phone. I have been lately, like, kind of going across the street to my mom's building just to kind of get out the building more because at first I didn't do that. Or I'm normally like in my classroom, minding my business. But these feelings of being overwhelmed is definitely possible as far as for educator because there's so much that has to be done in preparation to get it ready for your students. Sub binders, report card pickup was maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Paperwork, submitting different things that need to be done. It's a lot. Dealing with some of your same challenging kids with these same behaviors and everything like that. And, you know, there are a lot of mixed emotions that are happening right now. Being very irritable because you're seeing the same trends in your students' behavior, and the level of disrespect that I have been receiving lately. It's just a lot to digest. You know, it is definitely a lot. I know that some days when I come home, I'm tired. I don't have anything positive to say. I just start expressing myself. At some point, you become frustrated with seeing the same things and you're human. At the end of the day, you have to tell yourself that you're a human. Yes, this is only a job. Like I've stopped, since the new year have become, I really haven't been bringing my work home with me, only depending on what the circumstance is are. Because I've been doing like my to-do list to be able to have my different things that I have to do. But even if I have to make personal phone calls and stuff like that, that's kind of been a hassle because it has been an ongoing process repeatedly. The constant one-on-ones with admin about classroom culture and the chain of command. I'm just like, honey, we could have as many conversations as we want, and which is fine and dandy, but I don't want to see admin at my door every morning. I don't want to see admin at my door every afternoon. I get tired of seeing them because it just doesn't feel good. Even though they come in to say something positive or they come in to help, you just get tired of seeing them. Like, what are you in here for now? I know I'm probably doing something wrong, or it just get it's you just be over it. You're over it drastically. You're over it. Um, you're over it, and then every job requires you to do something, that needs to be done. Like my job don't want you sitting down a lot, right? You need to be up, 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 narrating. And when I say narrating, you're telling these kids what to do from the time pencil to paper. Thank you very much. And, giving scholar dollars, which is an incentive that we use to, let the kids know that they're doing good. They earn the money. We put it on their paycheck. But it's just so much to do. And I'm wondering, does anybody else feel this way? Is there any other school that's like dealing with this? It's just a lot. Like we narrate, we talk a lot, we move a lot, we run laps. And when I say laps, we're lapping across around the classroom to make sure the student is staying on task. But it's just like pause for the cause. How? It was just my first year. This is my first year teaching middle school. And I'm just like, houseway, houseway. And then some of the parents, I I just have to sit there and breathe because I try my best not to let it affect me, but it's kind of hard to do because you care. When you care about something, you're not just gonna allow it just to slide any kind of way or whatever the case. But I care about these kids. I care about the environment that I'm cultivating for them. Like there was a situation that arose. Child went home, told her parent, that I hit her very hardly to wake her up for say testing. And from that standpoint, I had a conversation with that parent. I sat down, I owned up to my actions. I sat down with them and we talked. But then the following day, the parent comes back because of something that I said. And it wasn't wrong what I said. It was about me. I'm going to allow admin to come in and wake my students up because I don't want the students to feel as though I'm hitting them or I'm out to hurt them because I'm not. I would never hurt my students. I will never jeopardize my job for my students at all because my livelihood is important. But what I will do, I would never attack the child or come back for revenge on a child because I love children, despite what that child done to me. Because I've had some pretty rough patches with some of my students, and we have been able to look past that and move past that and start a new day because every day is a new day. But to be ridiculed, it just tear at my character. None of this I should take personal, but then it's kind of hard not to take personal in everything that you give because everybody don't see everything that you are doing behind the scenes, so much time that you spend working. And for the people that's not in the education field, it's kind of hard for you to actually relate to something that you're not in. It's not just that simple of just, oh, okay, this is it. This is all. That's it. That's all. When I leave here, that's it. No, it's not that. This is a serious and critical time right now. State testing has already begun and they have already taken the ELA portion. There have people that have been out, including myself. I've been out for 2 days. We're getting sick. We're getting worn down. We're stressed out. We're overworked. We're overwhelmed. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing. Moving on to my next point. The observations of how the company communicates, right? So every company has their own way that they communicate with their employees, whether it's via email or whether it's like different notices, an information board, whatever the case. We get an email flood every day, right? And we start off with the ideas of doing things, but then things change. Things change. Like I know my kids was really, really excited about doing this chant. We came with a bomb chant. I mean, they were ready to show up and show out for the pet rally, but then it got canceled. I mean, like they didn't do that part. They cut that part out of the pet rally. So my kids was feeling some kind of way. And I'm like, man, like, okay, cool. Moving on. The observations of how the school handles disciplinary issues in regards to students, ensuring that the staff is acknowledged for their hard work verbally and not behind an email, and just common courtesy of saying good morning to your staff members when you see them and not waiting for them to say something first. Okay, so there are a couple issues that I want to address that I was just saying with this particular point. So there are kids that cut up constantly, and there is nothing that could be done with them, right? Besides writing up an IEP, because half or majority of the kids or whatever, it's a lot of students that are getting IEPs written up or being created for them. But how can we serve in a capacity that it's a huge workload on one person, let alone 5 people for the student body being what it is. It's a lot of work. it's definitely a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the people that make this happen. I'm kind of sad that we have lost people. Not lost because they died, but lost because they were let go or they were fired. Also just assuring, letting your staff know verbally, I appreciate you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you're doing. It's just like, wow, it's mind blowing for real. And that's the common courtesy of acknowledging somebody when you see them. If I'll come into a room, I'm going to acknowledge the whole room. I'm not going to walk by you like, man, like I know you was even in this room. That's just, I don't know, that was just the way that I was raised. I'm not taking any shots about any of these comments that I'm just saying. I'm just speaking on what's been going on and just kind of expressing myself because it's just like, dang, for real? Every time I look up, it's something. Every time I look around, it's something that needs to be done. It's just like, if this shop ain't gonna do one thing for certain, two things for sure. This shop is gonna find you something to do in a heartbeat. And how do you deal with all this, Marisha? How do you process all of this? I go out. I make content. I laugh. I turn everything into a joke. But at some point, I'm wearing thin. So spring break is what I needed. Meanwhile, not using other staff members to serve as spies. And I'm not gonna go into any more detail, but that's pretty much self-explanatory. If another colleague is sliding in your class and observing, just without you even having no acknowledge about it, that's an uncomfortable feeling and that's sneaky. That is not creating trust between you and your colleague, and then they don't even come and talk to you about it, but they just doing what the big boss told them to do. Okay, moving on. And actually not cultivating the workplace where fun is implemented and being like a family. We're not a family. We're just existing. We are family when it's time for common issues. But any other, no, we're cool. Everybody's just kind of cliquish. And it can be like that sometimes. And the struggles of our children. We say that we are in the business of supporting children, but yet and still these children are not being heard. Their feelings, their emotions, and the actions of some of these adults, the way that some of these adults talk to these children is crazy. The way that some of these adults talk to the parent, because kids are going to go home and tell their parents what you've done to them or what was said about them or how you treat them. They're going to say this. They're going to say something. Like, how does this align to the question I asked? Am I wrong for creating the life that I want? This, all of these different points tie into what my next phase of my life is going to be. Will I continue in this? No, I'm going to have to change the trajectory because I've had too many aha moments to say, yeah, I don't want to continue my life like this. I want to change it. I want to do something better. Can you change it and still be in the same environment? Yes. So I wrote down two ways that you could change it. You could either create a solution or you could be the person that constantly just keep retelling the same story because it's weighing on you. Which one will I be? I want to be able to create a solution that works best for me. And I'm like saying that nobody else mattered, but in this situation, it's me. It's my son. It's my mental well being. It's me. Because sometimes this environment just may not be conducive for what you ultimately want to do or how you see fit to do what you want to do. So, me creating a solution may look like, hey, still staying at the same school, but doing something totally different because it's a different year and it's a different group of kids. And you'll be starting at the beginning of the year instead of in the middle of the year. Or maybe you might want to switch schools and do something totally different. Maybe you might want to teach virtually and look at some other options. There's nothing wrong with having options. In order for you to be able to make an effective decision, you want to be able to have options and explore, especially when you have multiple skill sets. I don't just only have one skill set, just teaching. There's a lot of different skill sets and things that I have. I have experience in intervention, being able to turn the school around, and grow kids because that is what I love to do. I have coaching experience. I have consulting experience. I've been a virtual assistant before. So I don't never put myself in a box. But a part of me creating that solution, I want to make sure that me and my son are getting the best for what's going to work for us in every way possible. And I want people to not be scared to go out and get what you want and create the life that you want. And that starts by knowing that you had enough, knowing that you will want to move around. You got to know what you want to do, and that requires you to put a plan together. Now, if you're gonna be that person that just stay there, then shut your mouth, because ain't nobody finna listen to you for years talk about the same thing about you staying in the same with the same company when you know daggone well you wanted to leave in the first place. Don't do that, and don't be that person, because at some point they're gonna get tired of you. That's how you push people away, because you still decide to stay in the same situation because that's your choice and that's your business. But it ain't gotta be mine. That ain't gotta be mine, because there's so many options. If you go out there and find them, if you research and you take the time out to develop what the plan is actually going to be, it's up to you. So the question is, am I wrong for creating a life that I want? P.S. Of course, once I get the green light from God to make sure that everything checks out according to His plan for my life. Thank you guys for tuning in. That is the close of the show. But before I go, I definitely want to share something with you guys. Do y'all remember when I had my two goals last year in celebration of the 2-year anniversary of the Breakfast Show with Marisha LaShay? My goal was to reach 1,000 listeners, and these are my current stats. So out of the 1,000 listeners, I have a total current amount of 449 active listeners. I started off being on maybe 3 to 4 platforms. Now I'm on 10 different platforms. So my goal is to move into the subscriptions on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify for podcasters. And then remember, I wanted to expand to my international friends. And I started off at like maybe 7 countries. I'm currently at 12 countries, and I'm looking to secure 183 more countries. So yeah, I just had to let y'all know. Also coming soon. I already touched on the subscriptions, but I'm also going to be dropping a coaching program as well on getting people started on how to actually get started in the podcast world. So stay tuned for everything that's coming. Thank you guys for being so supportive. I love you guys. I know today was kind of lengthy and kind of get some things off my chest, but I just always like to be transparent and real and be able to be a motivation for somebody out there going through the same things like myself. So thank you guys. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Please be blessed.